Hi everybody, hope you're doing marvelously well. I'm very excited because today we're going to try out for the very first time the Rupert Neve 5057. This is a 16-channel summing amp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a mix that we did through my old Caddock console, which has almost zero plugins on it, and we mixed through the summing of a console. And we're going to emulate it over 16 outputs through the Rupert Neve 5057. But I'm also going to bounce it internally. So we're going to get to listen to the two different mixes. And best of all, you'll be able to download that at the link below and make up your own mind. What do you prefer? Do you prefer the summing version or do you prefer the bounced in the box? So let's check it out. Let's have a quick rundown of the mix here so you can see what's going on. There's not a lot. We've got a beat up the top here, which is going up through 1 and 2. What that's doing is it's going over here. There's a DB25 connector on the back of this going in and out of the IOs. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So by clicking the button here, you can take them from stereo and switch them to dual mono channels. And that could be kick and snare, bass guitar, lead vocal. So you understand why you would want to do this, using them as mono channels rather than stereo. But the way we set it up was using all 16. But if you wanted to do this and go into individual mono channels, you can. And the Silk Control, if you know Rupert Neve's stuff, are two different types of transformer emulations. So the red is a high frequency boost and it opens up the top. And the blue really makes the low end super thick. But what is great about both of these is all of the additional harmonics that it adds. So what I'm going to do is different settings so you can hear what the Silk adds. The texture control obviously is how strong you want it to be. I'm going to leave the trim on 0. You can, of course, cut it down if you're hitting it a little bit too hard. What I love about it is it's completely detented, meaning recalls would be easy to do. I had a lovely talk with the good fellows at Rupert Neve. For them, they consider this to be an entry-level product. It's a couple of $1,000s, but you might say, wow, a couple of $1,000s. But the point is, it's essentially going to give you the sound of a 5088 or a 5060. Those are products that use this same architecture. And if you want to be a purist, maybe better still in some ways, because there's no pots or switches in the way. There's no extra electronics in the way, and I am no electronics expert, as you know, but those of you that are will know you put less stuff in the way, you've got less chance of crosstalk, you've got less chance of issues, you get a purer signal. $2,000 is not a small amount of money, but when you think about it as 16 channels of summing, if it sounds amazing, then it is a very cheap way to get a console sound. And I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that are thinking exactly that. You want the sound of a console. You also don't want too many controls on it so you don't or can't recall it. That's one thing I think that's quite interesting is like, give me too many controls, you're giving me lots of options for mistakes and recalls. So we're going to bounce this session. I'll give you a quick lowdown on it. The top here is the beat, so that's going to 1 and 2. Then you've got timpani, which is also going on the stereo 1 and 2. So what's nice is a lot of low end in there. So it's going to be interesting if we want to put that Silk Control in. Then there's a drum print, which is also on 1 and 2. Put those three together. Next up, although it's not in numerical order, is the piano, which is coming out stereo 9 and 10. We have a twiddly little effects here. So it's an effect piano. There's a couple of random things here. There's a reverse piano. And at the end, there's like a little piano melody, a little motif. And then 5 and 6 is my acoustics. It's as it's recorded. There's no EQ, there's no compression, nothing on it. It's just as I recorded them. There's a pair of acoustics, there's a pair of mandolins, and there's actually a pair of ukuleles. 3 and 4 is the bass. And the vocal print is here.
Keep saying I can't keep playing this game.
Some backgrounds here. There's a bunch of vocals that I printed to a stereo track with effects on. There's another element for the drums, the tambourine print. There's the string print. And there is effects split up on 15 and 16. Anyway, you get the idea. It has been, spread out. There's not a huge amount of tracks, obviously, and we've also bounced backgrounds and stuff together. But you get the idea. There are 16 tracks being used. If this was your mix, you might want to sum it in a different way entirely. A lot of this stuff is stereo files, so it comes out in stereo. But you're getting the idea. So let us record it going through the summing amp, and I'm going to have a listen going down. I'm very excited. So a couple of things. On the back of this, there is a -6 dB output. Now, I spoke to the rather wonderful Jonathan Pines. Hey, Jonathan, if you're watching, who is incredibly well-liked and very smart guy. And he said to me, it's a good addition to have that, because to get this unit to really come to life and do all of the exciting things that we hope it's going to do, we're going to hit it hard. So he actually said to me, don't be afraid of those red lights coming on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a bunch of master faders, and I'm going to push all those master faders up a few dB and just keep hitting it harder and harder. And the reason why they have that -6 output is so you can run it hotter and not distort your input coming back into your DAW. So let's set that up. So I'm going to create 8 sets of master faders. You might say 8. Well, of course, they're all stereo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you get it. So 8 stereo master faders. They all come in nicely numbered. So now I'm going to group those because the mix has already been done. So all I want to do is bring them all up the same amount. So I'm creating a master fader group. I don't want to touch any of the other things that I did. So we're going to loop the chorus because this is the loudest part of the song, and we're going to push the unit hard until those red lights come on, just the way Jonathan asked me to do it. Definitely on there. Let's see if I can bring it down a little bit. So you can see I've taken it up 9 dB, 9.5 dB. So we're coming pretty aggressively into the unit now, and we've come out at the -6. So if we look at our print bus coming back in, if you look down here, at the very bottom, no clipping, no digital clipping, God bless it. So obviously a smart idea, allow a unit to be hit harder, but make sure you have an output that compensates. So there you go. But obviously the trim allows you to do the opposite. If what you were sending was really even hotter than what I just sent, that's where you have the trim. But we've got the trim set to 0 there. So now, obviously, if I was mixing into this, I wouldn't be thinking about taking a pre-existing mix like we have here and hitting it harder. I'd be mixing into it and getting hotter levels. So, you know, bear that in mind. This is a mix that we've already done, and we put the master faders on to increase the input. That isn't something that you would do if you were mixing from scratch for this. You'd be hitting it harder on every single input. So let's bounce the song with no silk on it whatsoever, all the way down, just with it being hit a little bit harder like it is. Then, or a lot harder. And then let's put the silk on. We've got the blue and the red. Let's put them on 50% and then maximum. And the maximum might be too much, who knows? At least we'll have an idea when you download the 2 tracks, you'll hear the differences in the sounds, even if one is obviously too much. All right, so let's bounce the flat one. I gotta be honest, I love this. This chorus is just like, you can feel limiting on it. This is basically doing what the SSL does for me. A lot of people do this. When we mix, we just take these off because it's probably going into the mic. When we mix, we abuse it. We abuse our consoles because they have some really nice natural soft clipping. They round off those transients. And I'm hearing that. I'm hearing when the chorus comes in, I'm just hearing that kind of fullness and that rounding off of transients. So Jonathan was right, you have to hit it hard. Basically, you treat a unit which is, instead of a console, like a console. Okay, fantastic. So that's the flat one. Next up, we're going to do 50% on the silk blue. And the silk blue is for the low end. Okay, so 2 clicks to get it onto silk blue. There you go, 50%. I'm excited to hear what this does. See how much girth it adds.
Just off the coast, the waves are crashing. Sirens call us to the rocks. And everywhere the lights are flashing. Maybe we're falling, maybe we should call the whole thing off. This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. But I keep finding myself inside of the same old hurricane. Winds are swirling all around us. We watch all the worlds collide. But maybe this is where the love is. Wrap you all around me, keep me safe and sound inside. This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. But I keep finding myself inside of the same old watch all the stars align, light up a warning sign. We can keep each other warm. It takes me and you. We can make it through. We are the eye of this perfect storm. Perfect storm. 'Cause I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. And I keep finding myself inside of the same old same. I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. But I keep finding myself inside of the same old same hurricane.
Wow, so that 50% seems pretty darn fat. Now, the reality is we haven't done a straight comparison between the two yet. So that's going to be very exciting. Okay, 100. I don't know, maybe it's going to be too much. Who knows? All right, whack. Full blown maximum on the blue.
Just off the coast, the waves are crashing. Sirens call us to the rocks. And everywhere the lights are flashing. Maybe we'll fall in, maybe we should call the whole thing off. This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. I keep finding myself inside of the same old hurricane. Winds are swirling all around us. We watch all the worlds collide. But maybe this is where the love is. Wrap you all around me, keep me safe and sound inside. This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. And I keep finding myself inside of the same old watch all the stars align, light up a warning sign. We can keep each other warm. It takes me and you. We can make it through. We are the eye of this perfect storm. Perfect storm. 'Cause I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. And I keep finding myself inside of the same old same. I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. But I keep finding myself inside of the same old same hurricane.
Let's move over. I'm really enjoying this. To red. So now this is for the high end. So let's set this back to 50% there. Here's the red.
Just off the coast, the waves are crashing.
I mean, I'm really hearing a difference with the strings. Zip, 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 zip coming through. I'm hearing a little bit more wispiness on the vocal. You know, I would say I'd be mixing through this and making my EQ decisions based on this.
Maybe we should call the whole thing off. This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. But I keep finding myself inside of the same old same hurricane. Oh, 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 hurricane. Oh, 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 hurricane. Winds are swirling all around us. We watch all the worlds collide. But maybe this is where the love is. Wrap you all around me, keep me safe and sound inside. This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. But I keep finding myself inside of the same old same hurricane. Oh, 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 hurricane. Oh, oh, hurricane. Oh, oh, watch all the stars align, light up a warning sign. We can keep each other warm. It takes me and you. We can make it through. We are the eye of this perfect storm. Perfect storm. 'Cause I keep saying I can't keep playing this game, and I keep finding myself inside of the same old same. I keep saying I can't keep playing this game, but I keep finding myself inside of the same old same hurricane. Oh, 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 hurricane. Oh, oh, hurricane.
Wow, so here we go. We're going on to maximum texture. No, the red full 100%.
Just off the coast, the waves are crashing.
All right, so let's import that into the bounce to disc version. Okay, so we've got both of them together. Here you can see down here the in the box version, and you can see the pushed a little harder through the summing amp version. And yes, it's doing what we expect it to do. I suppose let's give it a listen for absolute proof of the pudding. So that one's the Silk Red 100. Let's just go back to the flat. So of course you're going to download these final mixes yourself and have a listen. So why don't we just take a little loop section. So this is going to be the last part of, well, the pre-chorus going into the chorus, because there's a dramatic change there. Let's see how they're affected on each. It's going to level match these before we get too carried away. Now I've got my pairs frequency analyzer out as well, because I want to see, you know, what the differences are in the frequency responses as well. But let's have a quick look at the levels. So let's clean that. And this is the inner box. I put it up at 1.2 dB. Let's go to the flat version. So this is the flat through the Rupert Neve 5057. Let's I mean, the mids, the high mids seem the same kind of level, but the low end, even on the flat version, is just far bigger. Which is honestly what we expect from transformers, isn't it? That's what we want. So let's go to the 5057 flat. I mean, I'd argue almost immediately that it sounds better. Okay, so let's take this section here. So now we're going to hear the pre-chorus going into the chorus, and it's each time I hit solo, you'll see it and hear it, most importantly, moving between the two.
This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. I keep fighting myself. This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. I keep fighting myself. This is dangerous, but we need to feel the rush. And I keep saying I can't keep playing this game.
I mean, the girth, the thickness of it, everything is just, you know, that's just on the flat setting. Let's stick with the chorus because the difference is massive already. Why don't we go to the blue at 50% and see how much more low end there really is now? It could even be even crazier.
I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. I keep fighting myself. I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. I keep fighting myself. I keep saying I can't keep playing this game. I keep fighting myself. I keep saying I can't keep playing.
It's interesting, in the box version, I'm actually noticing a severe lack of like high mids compared with the Silk Blue. at 50. I'm going to go to silk red at 50. So starting off in the box. I mean, there's just a lot less information, isn't there? Maybe that's a way to explain it. Again, download them yourself and see what you think. But it seems like all the extra harmonics that are being generated from the transformers, from the silk, pretty evident. I mean, it's just more exciting. Let's go to 100% on the red, see if this gets absolutely nuts. Back, we'll start with the in the box again. I mean, the big change is more excitement, more harmonics, but let's be honest, that sort of limiting that's created by hitting those transformers. Just for snitch and schniggles, I'm gonna, because listening's all you really need to do, but let's zoom in on some of these transients. Nothing spiky about those transients at all. So it's just nicely soften them off. I mean, you go in there and look at them, and I know listening is most important, but there's no harm in looking, and I don't see anything there that looks square wave, no digital schmigital, and yet, in context, it's controlled. These transients here on the in the box one, which would need limiting, you would give that to your mastering engineer, and the first thing they would do is add some gentle compression and then limit it. Another sort of discussion point is a lot of mastering engineers have pieces of equipment like this in their chain to do what this is doing. How many times have you seen interviews with me when I'm talking to mastering engineers and they have like 4 or 5 things in a chain that are barely doing anything, so it would seem. But what they're doing is they're running through different stages of like transformers, adding additional harmonics, rounding off brittle transients, smoothing things out so it comes back sounding fuller and more glued together. I think I just would highly recommend that you get in there and you download these for yourself. I mean, I'm hearing a massive difference. I know you will too. And you have to make up your mind. For me, it seems like if you're an aficionado who loves mixing through transformers, loves what this is doing for you without the need of like running tons of plugins all over the place, and just getting something that's comparable and recallable, the fact that all of these are detented, this might be the solution for you. You're going to get the, I hate this phrase, but the analog sound, overused. But the reality is like for many people that are looking at, well, what's a console that's going to sound high quality? $30,000, $40,000 to get a quality console, even a used console? This is $2,000, I believe. Call me impressed. But once again, download these files and hear for yourself. I'm intrigued. Let's try something silly just for me. So what I've done, I've taken the 50 and the 100, which is obviously a lot more aggressively done, and I have reversed the polarity. And we're going to hear what the differences are. Here's the 100 on its own. Here's the 50 on its own. Back to the 100. Now, here is one of them flipped, reverse polarity. So it's adding a lot. It's pretty full range. It's a rather interesting thing to do. So do that as well. Load them in, flip the polarities, see how much addition. But obviously there's a lot of extra stuff going on in that. This is something I want you to do on your own and make up your own decisions. You saw how we did it. So I have a lot of friends. Brad Wood is one of them, and many, many others that mix through the 5060. As far as I remember, that's, I want to say $7,000 or something like that, which is fantastic. And it has, you know, faders and all kinds of fun things. But this has all of exactly the same things. It has 16 inputs. It has the same, you know, silk controls. It has the same sounds as that. And it's a fraction of the cost. Now, is this like something that's super, super cheap? Of course it's not. It's not like $100 or anything like that. But to get the sound that we benefit from, like the master bus of a console where it's starting to round off those transients in a musical way, I think they're going to do really well. I think this is going to sell really, really well. And I don't know of anything that sounds this good in this price range. So, as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to send it back. So we'll have to come to some agreement. We're going to be in agreement, as somebody famously once said. All right. Thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you ever so much, Rupert, for sending this to us. I really appreciate it. Great, simple product. That sounds fantastic. Download them for yourself. Listen for yourself. Make up your own mind. I'm not telling you anything. I am merely taking a session and bouncing it through. Oh, and by the way, this is a course. You can actually mix these multi-tracks. We did it with Brad Wood, talking of Brad Wood. So we'll put a link to that as well if you want to download these multi-tracks and mix the song for yourself. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, adios, adios. See you all soon. Thanks. Have a marvelous time. Bye-bye.